Archangel Michael states, you were meant to be wealthier than you are. This message explains why Archangel Michael asks, why are you still struggling with less when heaven declared more over? What is your name? Why do your hands seem empty when your spirit has been marked for overflow? Why has money slipped through your life like sand through fingers? And who has been profiting from what was intended for? This is not something you should skip. Random. This is not just another message. This is a spiritual insight. This has been delayed until now. You were born with a mark, calling, and the holy signature of the skies that replied, this one shall not lack. But your life has not reflected that truth. You've been faithful and generous. You have been quiet in your pain, experienced losses, betrayals, and unfamiliar financial delays, and you have convinced yourself, maybe it's just not meant for me. But I, Archangel Michael, have come to break the falsehood. Someone has blocked it, tangled your inheritance. There was a door in your lineage, shut. That door had your name etched into it. You were intended to be wealthy, not only for yourself, but also for what you were meant to build, restore, and pass on. This message will explain the hidden conflict over your provision, invisible hands that diverted what was yours, and the celestial reversal that is now underway. Pay close attention. The sword has been pulled. The vault was unlocked, and now the truth must be disclosed. Type 777 to say, I accept what was stolen. I reclaim what was mine. Archangel Michael states, you were meant to be wealthier than you are. This message explains why Archangel Michael responds, you weren't supposed to live this way. You were not born to. I almost made it, counting money while others spend lavishly, just to survive. Enough when heaven has declared more. More than enough about your name. However, someone did meddle. Let me speak straight. There was a theft. Not by a stranger or by happenstance, by design. Long before you even opened your first bank account, your name was written in a spiritual register of abundance. Your family line was designated for wealth. Ancient land, sacred inheritances, long-forgotten financial promises. However, you should have received disrupted, not by God. Someone from your bloodline made a pact. Either in fear, greed, or desperation. They passed on the outcomes of it. Decision as a spiritual chain wrapped in silence. And now you are here, wondering why the money continually slips. Why prefer delays? Why breakthrough shows? Stand up for others, yet hesitates at your door. Because someone before you has locked a door, and threw away the key. However, they didn't throw it far enough. I saw it. I recorded it. I tagged it for reversal. Papers were hidden. Land was never claimed. Money that never made it to the correct hands. There was a secret bank account. Forgotten policy, a broken promise. Muttered in his will. All of this was supposed to flow through you. You were the bridge. The branch that was supposed to carry the weight of divine prosperity to the next generation. But you weren't told. They said, "You will be all right." They claimed you are not. Anything is lacking. They lied. They weren't only keeping money from you. They maintain their identities. Do know what's yours to walk into. Confidence. And the enemy has no fear. Your bank account. He fears your awareness. He fears that you'll eventually realize that we were never poor, just constrained. Yes, some of the blocks were spiritual. Poverty was taught to you. Fear was handed down. You inherited emotions. Believing that wanting more was selfish. They told you God would provide. However, you were never taught how to accept. They denounced riches in public, pursuing them in private. That contradiction harmed your lucidity. And I am saying this to you now, not to disgrace you, but to awaken you. This is your legacy, and you have the right to regain it. Have you seen it? Little clues. Strange financial patterns. An old name that keeps appearing. A check that someone neglected to send. A house. It was sold without your signature. A loan you weren't aware someone had taken in your family's name. You heard the whispers. You've witnessed the strain in when it comes to inheritance, the entire family looks at it. You felt humiliation that was not yours. Carry, but was passed to you as luggage. I saw it all. The lie, the paperwork, the treachery, the stillness. And now I have been commanded to repair the truth. This is why I have come to you. Now, not with comfort, but with a confrontation. Because sometimes what is holding you back not your weakness, but your loyalty. You remained loyal to dysfunction. You protected secrets you didn't even know I knew you were protecting. And for years, your hands were empty. Out of misplaced honor. No more. You will not be at the burial ground of blessings. You'll be the resurrection. I'm shining a beautiful spotlight on the records, the numbers, the addresses, the names. God is reactivating what has been buried. There are systems, spiritual and governmental, that is being prompted to review your case, claim your name. You may hear from an older relative. You may encounter an unusual envelope. You may recall a name that was never sent until now. Follow the hint. Follow the prompting. Don't ignore the sign. This is not imagination. This is an investigation from heaven. You were destined to be wealthy than yourself. Now the thief must repay sevenfold. Heaven has already prevailed in your favor. Now it is time for you to act. On earth. Type 111 for agreement. What was stolen and must be returned? Archangel Michael responds, Child, let me remind you of something your soul possesses always known. You were never intended to live in poverty. Neither in money nor in love. Not in hope, nor in your feeling of value. I stood with you the day paradise I was present when your fate was decided. The scroll was unsealed. When your name reverberated through light. When God Himself whispered about your life. This one will provide much. This one will flood. This one will fix what the others broke. However, somewhere between the promise and in the present, your light has been darkened. Not eliminated, but delayed. Not rejected, but buried. Did you believe it for a while? You were picked. Your hands we were created to construct, bless, and create leave your mark. However, over time, reality chipped away the fantasy. Bills piled up. Doors did not open. People you trusted dismissed you. Potential. You gradually become accustomed to having less. But your soul never forgets. That's why, even in the quietest you could feel the agony in some moments. That soft voice that says, I was made for something more. That feeling in your chest when you see someone living in excess. That peculiar mixture of hope and despair when you hear stories of miracles. That wasn't envy, it was your destiny knocked again. You were always intended for more. More than just getting by. More than giving. Without receiving. More than being the strong one, others rest on your sacrifice. And I get what you're thinking. But if I was destined for more, so why didn't come? Because meant for and prepared for is not the same. You were always intended to more. Yes. However, the systems, people, the teachings surrounding you have never prepared you to hold it. They taught you how to survive. They taught you humility. You make sacrifices. But no one trained you to receive. Nobody told you it was okay to have. No one informed you that you might be wealthy and spiritual. Abundance is not arrogance. Alignment. Nobody told you that the God you have an abundance of love, and hence you gave, and now you're tired, but never broken. Simply buried behind notions that no longer serve the mission God has placed on you life. I need you to comprehend this now. You are not being greedy by desiring. You're being obedient because the blessing is for more than just you. What you are asked to build. It is for the children who look up to you. For the folks you will save. It is for the legacy that yet awaits. Be fulfilled. Do not allow small-minded people to convince you. You that your fate must shrink to. Match their comfort. You were created to disrupt generational tendencies. You were chosen to stroll into rooms. Bloodline was never invited before. You were picked to be the first. First to break cycles, first to own. The first to rest, the first to live. Without the constant dread of not having enough. That calling was never cancelled. Even now, angels stand. Based on the blueprint of your life, preparing to reveal the next chapter. One of restoration, one of multiplication, one of ease. Yes, you've known. You've struggled long enough. You've carried the weight long enough. Now heaven is whispering, let me show you what occurs when the pressure is relieved. But you must agree. You must not settle for what's just. Okay, you must quit calling survival a blessing. You have always been meant for more. That is why the discontent persists. This is why the dreams keep coming. That's why your spirit refuses to settle. Because you were never supposed to. There is land with your name on it. Financial gates are ready to swing open. Angelic visitations have occurred. Already booked for your increase, not to impress. Not to boast, but to align. Align with the truth. Calling. Align with the favor that was circling your home, waiting for you to say, yes, I accept. I, Archangel Michael, have been sent to remind, you're not crazy for dreaming larger. You are remembering. You remember what your spirit knew. Before life attempted to convince you. Otherwise. You were always supposed to more. And now, if you'll allow it, that more will begin to move towards you. Doors, connections, and confirmations, divine interruptions, they are already on their way. Type 444. If your spirit remembers, you're ready to receive what has always been yours. Archangel Michael says there is something in your home that has your blessings are being silently blocked. It does not look like a demon. Sound like evil, it may even talk and pray, smile at yourself, or wear a mask of good intentions. However, it is present, albeit undetectable to the naked sight. But heavy in soul. Let me tell you the truth, there are things that wealth cannot flow through. Not because God. They were withheld, but because the atmosphere was never ready to accept some of you live with them. Spiritual quiet in rooms with angels, there was a fog, a weight is a type of unseen clutter that has kept what was yours. Circling, waiting, knocking, and never landing its time to expose it. There is a reason why every time opportunity comes, it slips away. There's a reason your name was mentioned in rooms, but nothing manifests. A reason why, just as money comes in, something breaks, someone calls, and some the emergency drains everything again. It's not a coincidence, this is resistance. And the resistance, beloved, is being something nearby, such as it could be a mindset. Be a spiritual residue left by a connection, treachery, or covenant established in ignorance. Yes, occasionally you invite your adversaries. Enter without knowing. They arrive veiled. They come to help, seeming to care. However, they leave fingerprints on your favor, obstruct flow, deplete peace. You're losing your sense of discernment. Let me ask you, have you ever felt a heaviness after talking to someone? Do you feel fatigued inside your own home? Is your sleep feeling light interrupted? Do you frequently wake up between 3 hours 4 a.m., no explanation? These are not little matters. Spiritual indications. Your house, or spiritual home, has been under discreet surveillance. Not by God, but by demons who ride on bitterness, jealousy, and hidden grief, unspoken grief. They don't yell. They linger, and they obstruct money. They obstruct peace. They prevent revelation. The worst part is that they obstruct your ability to receive. You have prayed for breakthrough, yes. But have you ever cleaned your space? Spiritually? Have you wandered through your home? What am I tolerating, God? Already told me to remove. Some of the blockage is not demonic, it is emotional. Unforgiveness is a spiritual hoarder. Builds up resentment in the corners of your spirit and crowds out divine provision. Some of the impediment is relational. I'll admit it, not everyone who lives here your house wants you to win. There are eyes that see your dreams and shrink. They were met with silence. There are hands that manage your belongings with jealousy. Conversations taking place while you are not in the room, and your name is on there. You felt it, the awkwardness. Tension is the shift in attitude when you enter the continual tiredness that doesn't make sense. It's not in your thoughts, it's in your atmosphere. Your home has been compromised. And now it must be cleansed. This is not about throwing people out with rage. This is about standing in spiritual authority. You've been chosen to carry money. But prosperity necessitates weight-bearing walls. Strong spiritual foundations nor cracked ones based on emotions chaos. You need serenity at home, not only prayers. You need alignment, not merely amen. You should go into your kitchen. Feel clarity, not confusion. You must slumber in your bedroom, without awaking to spiritual vigilance. Let me tell you what to do. Anoint your door. Walk through each room and announce, nothing can block my blessing. Stay here. Clean what you have avoided. Throw away what carries past pain. Delete what bonds you with betrayal. Unfollow what undermines your confidence. And then wait. You'll feel the air shift. You will hear the difference in silence. You will sleep more deeply. And, sure, money will begin to make its way to you. Again. Why? Because the blocker has been removed. I wasn't sent here to soothe you. Dysfunction. I was assigned to expose the spirit of delay. That is camped in your environment for too long. You've sobbed over stolen opportunities. But now I'll show you what kept them. from your doorstep. This is the cleanup before to collection. The angel of wealth has not I've forgotten your address. It was just rerouted by clutter and spiritual noise, compromised agreements. But I'm clearing the way. One room at a time, one name at a time, one chain at a time. Time. This is your moment to take back authority over your home. Because a house consists of more than just timber walls. It's a portal for providing. It's sacrosanct ground. And once blocked, you'll now bless you if you cleanse what has been allowed to stay for too long. Type 999. If you're willing to erase what has secretly robbed you, Archangel Michael. I've drawn my sword, and I don't draw it just for decoration. Come with whispers, I come with war. Because the time for waiting is over. Because the door must open. Was bonded must now break. This is the instant the chains come off your inheritance. I've been watching for too long. I stood over your name, as it was. Passed over, silenced, and locked up. I've circled your house in the spirit. Others mocked at your hardship. However, the laughter has ceased now since heaven sent me to perform the reversal. You, child of the Most High, you have suffered long enough. Lived under generational limitations that was never meant for you. You have toiled under curses you did not agree to. Labored without reward. You've contributed without return. And you've grieved and asked, God, why does breakthrough seem to visit everyone but me? I'm here to respond because the one who was supposed to bless you was chained. Jealousy, lies, and betrayal. But I've come to sever the chain. I perceive that spiritual contracts are written in shadows. I noticed those who grinned while making stumbling impediments in your road. I noticed the family member who made sure you've never seen that document or check. That truth. I see everything. And I remained mute, waiting for heavenly permission. And now I have it. I don't beg. Strike. Tonight in the invisible realm, I am walking around the halls of your house. Spiritual chains wrapped around you. I have your name, finances, and future. I found them and am deconstructing what I attempted to bury you in barely enough. Hear me now. The chain is not only physical, spiritual. Some of you were born in houses where need become normalized. Where we don't have enough was discussed more than benefits. Where dreams were dismissed. There was hush surrounding the secrets. So the chain expanded. With each time you said, maybe I'm just unlucky. Each time you felt sorry about wanting more. Each time you dropped your expectation to avoid disappointment. But tonight, the sword slices through everything of it. I break the cycle of financial trauma. I break the cycle of generational debts. I broke the chain of stolen inheritance. I break the bond of fear, masquerading as wisdom. I break the chain of delay. You were not born to be the last in line. We're not designed to serve everyone. Others' destiny while your own sits. You are not forgotten, even when you are buried. You are the one selected to awaken everything. This isn't about greed. Justice. There exists a divine law in heaven that states that when the thief is caught, he must repay sevenfold. The thief is both spiritual and physical, has been caught. They can't hide behind faux kindness anymore. They cannot pass off envy as compassion. They cannot keep something that was never theirs. You are ascending. The door has refused to open. Until now. There is a call you've waited years for. It is being dispatched. A reversal is on the way. Others might see it as a miracle, but you will feel free. Because that's what this is. Financial freedom, emotional freedom, and ancestral freedom, but now, kid, you must do your share and stand in agreement. You must declare what heaven has already declared. You must stop. I apologize for wanting what God entrusted to you. I will fight for you. But you must open your hands. Do not postpone the release by questioning it. Don't disrupt the rhythm by entertaining people who hold spiritual chains of their own. You cannot step inside a prosperous future while carrying heavy individuals who refuse to rise. Tonight is sacred, the atmosphere has changed. The conflict has been won in spirit. It must be activated in the mouth. Speak it. Michael, I agree, cut the chains. I walk into what is mine. You'll feel it in your body. Release, a fire, and a lightness. Some of you will dream tonight of old houses with closed doors sliding open, of individuals handing you mail or keys. Those aren't just dreams. Confirmations. I've delivered the decisive blow. The struggle has finished, and suddenly riches finds its way home to you, not just money, favor, clarity, property, and back pay, justice, and it begins now. Type 77 to say, Michael, I embrace the breakthrough. I receive what was chained, I reclaim what is mine. Archangel Michael says it is done, the chains have fallen. The veil has been broken. The hush over the inheritance has been broken. You are no longer the overlooked one. You're no longer the last person in line. Are the awakened one, the one selected to redeem and regain what was lost. Buried and rebuilt what was stolen. This marks the beginning of your fortune. Awakening. Expect the unexpected. Watch for divine confirmation. Watch out for sacred signs, numerals, names, murmurs, dreams. Heaven is moving, approaching you in real time. And I, Archangel Michael, I am walking with you until the restoration is completed. Are opening, and records are moving. Accounts are under review with your name displayed in divine light. You will not lose what is yours. This time, proclaim it. I have received the restoration. I walk into my season of more. Type 8.88 to seal your agreement with heaven, because the wealth is awakening.